Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time we finished up Case 3, proving Mr. McGilded innocent. However, shortly after his trial, he was found dead because he burned alive within the omnibus. Anyway, this time we'll be continuing on with the start of Case 4. You know, we already briefly started it last time as well. But yeah, we met with Mal Strongheart, who is advising us to speak to this police inspector about receiving a new case, you know, or at least the details of it. Now, guys, I want to say right off the bat, I tweaked some audio settings because I've noticed that, like, for some reason, the audio of my mic just changes without me, like, tweaking anything at all. So I decided to tweak some settings, you know, to try and adjust for that. Hopefully everything sounds, you know, as it normally does. I mean, if not, hopefully it sounds better than it did before. Yeah, so that is my hope going forward. Let's go ahead and talk to him. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to examine him to actually speak with him. What do you got there? Can we trouble you? What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eating out of your hand, you know. But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man. I'm a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. I've never heard of Japan, my man. Hear that rip-it sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart that as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Eh? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. Eh? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? Oh, is he gonna be smitten with her? It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable! How did she pull that off? I know, after we just tried to pull that off. So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Tell me about yourself, my fine fellow. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? I don't know how you're supposed to answer that. If someone just walked up to you, like, let's say your name's Bob, and someone you never met just goes up to you like, are you the Bob? Like, I don't know, like, what Bob are you talking about? Am I that famous? You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rants Magazine? That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all Scotland Yard. Oh, I accidentally skipped past that. Hang on. What did she say? Gregson is a pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yards. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise? That doesn't sound like a very good praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not! And thanks to that magazine, my name is known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? Pretty sure it's not. Humph. I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the streets. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head, stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. I've never heard that expression before. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps the sudden rise of fame does change people. Tell me about the case. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Well, that's what they said about the last case. Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. That's how every case is in these games. You get used to it. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital, unconscious. That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Is that a new pose? I don't think we've ever seen that before. Raise yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left of the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question. Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak von Zeeks. Well, we've dealt with him before. No! Sounds like you've heard of him then. Is he not aware of who we are? Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. Like, does he not, like, he was in the cutscene, right? Of the burning omnibus, right? Like, is he not aware that we're already aware of everything going on? The Reaper of the Bailey. Alright, let's talk about the prosecutor. Lord Barak von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Miss McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? Flashback! When Von Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname, I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Von Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. Ha! And what of it? Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Ah! Magnus McGilda came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. He came a cropper. I've never heard that expression before. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? Well, that's not fair! You can't just say that we didn't do our jobs because he died after we did do our jobs. That doesn't make sense. Well, what are you saying? Look, if Von Zieks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. That's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? Right, well, I fell due in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. Okay, so I'm really glad they confirmed that those were chips. Or, like, I guess... They're like fries, right? But in England, they refer to them as chips. Which is a bit strange, to say the least. But I'm glad they confirmed that. I don't know why he would be just carrying that around, though. Alright, so I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. Well, can we come with? It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place? That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already? He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in a cell, he is. I'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. You only have 53 criminals at any given moment? Or at least, like... At least right now? 53? Is that how I'm supposed to be interpreting that? Alright then. So, there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. Nah, we're protagonists. We gotta go see this through the end. But if the man they've arrested is innocent... You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Let's go! Alright, what are my options here? I get to choose! Alright. I think it makes more sense to check out the crime scene before the prison. So we kind of get an idea of what happened before we get any potential bias from our client. Or potential client, I should say. Plus, I want to, like... I feel like I'm going to understand the case more if I see the crime scene. 19th of February, Briar Road. What happened to that bicycle? Like, what is wrong with its wheel? Like, oh my gosh, that is seriously messed up. So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Ah! Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Men! Look at that regulation black metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? Yeah, of course. I had to try one on today. Or, man, I'm really bad at reading today, apparently. I have to try one on one. Oh, one on. Wait. One. Oh, okay. I have to try one on one day. Okay. I see what she's saying. Okay. Okay. Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. I don't know why I was misreading. It took me so long to read that sentence. I don't see Inspector Gregson anywhere. Shall we see if we can sneak past and investigate the scene of the stabbing? Well, that seems like a good idea. Why should we sneak? I don't want to upset one of the bobbies and be butted on the head by one of those metal helmets. My skull will crack it too, I'm sure. Oh no, an English bobby would never do such a thing. This is a land of gentlemen, you know. I can't. That is such a terrible idea to like sneak into a crime scene while they're investigating. Well, okay. Before we investigate them, we have to obviously investigate this very awesome looking snowman. What a delightful snowman. I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look. No, I never considered that. What other cultures make snowmen? I just assumed that everyone made snowmen around the world, but I guess since they pointed it out, maybe it's not as common as I would have thought. Alright, you need a scarf if you're out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Why didn't we just take the money, dude, before he died? Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Again! I think this game has a serious problem with, differentiating what's being said out loud and what's being said in the head. Because if I go back and look at this, Ryunosuke clearly said that in his head, but Susato just replied as if we said that out loud, which is kind of bugs me. That is like the fourth or fifth time that's happened in this game, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I know you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, wouldn't it? Would it? It's covered in snow. Yeah, but it would warm up after a bit. Let's investigate the little omnibus here. Or the carriage. Whatever. I don't know. I'm too used to stuff calling it the omnibus. We'll just call it a carriage. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to the crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. No. I wasn't serious. Good job, Ryunosuke. Don't let her commit crimes. And what else we got here? Anything else to investigate before we hop right in? Alright, let's investigate this dude. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what's going on. What was going on, I should say. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does no favors at all. Therefore, you should do it, Susato. You should get accused of doing a crime this time around. It makes sense, right? Ugh. Okay, I guess that was apparently not the right guy to talk to. Or maybe I investigate that. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Oi! What are you foreigners doing here? Ah! Oh, gosh, conspiracy with the mustache fella from Japan, are ye? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have ya? Get out of here before I give you an idin. Idin? What is he saying? Go on! He shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. Can I look the other way? I don't think there's anything left on the screen, I'm pretty sure. Look over here. What happened to bicycle here? Oh, a British bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so mishappen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Well, geez, let me tell you, Ryunosuke, like 100 years from now, they're still gonna be riding them. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off the ground seems reckless. I'm sorry, what? If you're ever tired... Man, I just cannot read today for whatever reason. If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me. Well, we'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You could sit behind me while I ride you around. Dude, his analogy there was awful. That made no sense at all. Anyway, it looks like there's a gap in the fence here. Let's check that out. Oh, look at the windows of that building there. That's not what I was trying to look at. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, I just noticed that. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. I think I remember reading about this some time ago. Like, in real life, you know, not just like in some kind of fictional setting. If I'm not mistaken, I think taxes at some point. I don't know if this applies to London or if this was like in some other country, but I've heard that like the taxes to like an establishment were based off the amount of windows a place had. So I believe like some places literally just like bricked in their windows like this to like reduce the amount of windows, you know, so they have to pay less taxes. That is what I think anyway. I could be completely off base, who knows. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. There's smoke coming from the chimneys though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have yet to learn about this place. I wanted to look at the fence. The fence is broken. Alright, let's look at the street. There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. But that would be jaywalking, and that's illegal. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed all in black. I worried coachmen might not see you, and you could be flattened by horses. Well, I mean, during the night, possibly, but not during the day. Come on. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Alright, let's look at the door. That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly does seem to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks it's in decidedly worse shape than the other horses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right, cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. I just noticed there's like holes in those windows right there too. Like right here. Anything else? Street lamp. Hang on. Can we investigate the buildings in the distance? Oh, we're just looking at the clouds, never mind. The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Well, it is known as foggy London town. I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Aha! Yes! That must be the Crystal Tower, being built for the great expedition that's open in 6 months' time. Apparently it's going to be very striking. Glazed on all sides and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition. Man, I really just cannot read today. It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? Can't even begin to imagine it. Oh, I can look at that right there. You see all the black smoke rising from the chimneys over there? The chimneys? It says here that in Great Britain, many people heat their homes in winter using coal. The only chimneys I really remember seeing in Japan were on top of the bathhouse. You think some of those houses could be on fire? No! Not at all. Well, even so, that much thick smoke building up to the heavens is surely going to turn the whole sky black sooner or later. Oh man, you have no idea, my man. Gosh, you may be right about that. Man, I really feel like we've made no progress whatsoever. Just a whole bunch of empty investigation. Let me just go back to the other side to be sure. I'm not missing anything. It seems like I may have to speak with the client to progress. So let's move on out of here and let's go to the prison. Let's go see prisoner number 53. Oh, this is a cool looking jail cell. Local prison. Yes, my favorite prison. Local prison. Cell 9. So these are the British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. She seems so upset about that. Apparently our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is eager to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I? Am I a cat, as yet with no name? Calling me by number? It's utterly unbelievable. Unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Come on, then, show yourself. Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh! You're speaking Japanese, eh? Excuse me, but who? Shh, quiet! They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now I could see it, or I could sense it. Right. So, could I ask you who exactly... There you are! You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost! A ghost? This guy is paranoid! We mean you no harm, prisoner son. Are you Japanese by any chance? Well, he certainly reacted in a what seems to be a good way. This is beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon. A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. No, just let it happen, Ryunosuke. Just let it happen. We could drive up the prices that way if he thinks we're first class. Right? Don't let him know this is only like our third case. Or fourth. Well, yeah, it depends on how you count the boat case. Third case, whatever. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why have you been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, I can. I will! Stay sullen and silent. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo, and my prices are very high, let me assure you of that. You will not skip $1 on my services. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume. Hang on. How do you say this? Soseki? I'm gonna say Soseki for right now. Yeah, Soseki Natsume. Or Soseki. Wait. Because I'm pretty sure you say Natsume. And Soseki. We'll say Soseki. Yeah, Soseki Natsume. Yeah, that's hang on. Soseki Natsume. Let's go with that for right now. But yeah, guys, we have reached the 30-minute mark, so I think this is a good time as any to end the episode here. Next time we'll definitely speak with this man, see what the crime is all about. You know, hear his side of the story, and then possibly go to the crime scene and do a bit of investigation of our own. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day, guys. Bye!